I'm trying not to talk, but I keep talking.
We don't have to not talk when.
Well, I mean, we're live. We can talk. It's probably actually better if we
talk.
talk.
I was like, we
don't want to make it too awkward, right? Wow.
Hasn't popped up for me yet.
It just popped up. Oh, hey.
Come on now.
Wow.
I just look like a fool trying to share this. I look like an old man in the cast. Like, I look like an old man trying to do stuff on his phone.
Are you out of touch?
I am out of touch. I don't exactly know what the latest app is. I don't use Snapchat anymore. I don't have Snapchat on my phone, so that's...
Snapchat has died. Am I wrong?
It is. No, it actually is.
Yeah, totally Snapchat's dying. Their stock ain't doing too well, but the kids also say Facebook is dumb.
The kids don't know what's cool.
The kid. Well, I mean,
the kids aren't all right.
But the kids are what drives social media.
Yeah, the kids
so
decide what's cool.
Yeah. The kids are all right. Okay.
They're right, you know.
Daddy's alright.
Apparently, the kids are all on Instagram right now. Instagram is the hot place to be.
That's just pictures.
Well, it's just pictures, and the other thing is that, like, Instagram is actually owned by Facebook, so
Yeah. They've been tricked.
They don't use it as much because it's all plagued by their parents and their grandparents. Oh yeah, that's real nice on my floor. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
That scared me. If you look at the if you look at the live cast, you can see me go. That just jumped. That just scared the shit out of me.
I liked all Stardew games.
was cool. No.
I really enjoy what's it called, Stardew Valley.
I just saw it.
I had fun playing Farmville.
Okay.
She laughed at me because I would go home on my lunch break.
They're in the garage, Zach. But it's okay. We have another beer.
Daddy's all right.
Wait, once y'all start filming and broadcasting, what if I need to leave the room?
I guess you're gonna be on it.
They won't see you.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Which way would I have to go?
Where the bathroom is?
That way?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was live now. Are we ready to go?
Ready.
All right, let's do it. I don't have anything funny to say. Like usually we talk during the intro.
Just say TGIF Friday, dude. Thank God it's Friday.
It's March now, and you know what that means?
March.
Irish Drinking Day.
Irish Drinking Day. St.
Oh,
Patrick's Day. Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
You know, it's coming up.
And this is a green can.
And crawfish season.
Crawfish
Our
season.
favorite season here on the cast.
Yeah, my boys, crawfish, all that good stuff.
We're Texans, but we're also Louisianans.
Well, yeah, I mean,
We're
it's just
southern.
right next door, and it really helps when you know Cajun people too. So that's one thing. Welcome to Beers at the Round Table. So
Crack the head, suck the butt.
yeah, that's how you eat crawfish. So episode 22. This week we are drinking Hopslam. Yeah, from Bell's Brewery. They're in Michigan. We discovered yesterday. I didn't know that before. This one's actually kind of a little bit rare, so we're actually lucky to have this, and we should be thankful.
It's not quite a shiny, but it's close.
Hey, I'm lucky to have you guys.
This is the first time that this beer has been available in Texas, so I'm excited about it. I'm not gonna lie, I've already had this before, but we can go. Let's go ahead and crack
Cheater. Ooh, that's a different color foam there.
Oh, jeez. If I get botulism from this, I'm so mad.
Jesus, Bobby.
I don't know if you can really get that from alcohol.
I always get botulism from alcohol.
But the next morning.
Where do you get your alcohol from, dude?
So I think the foam actually has a little bit of green tint to it.
I thought so too. That's what I was saying. It's a
Maybe it's
different
just the
kind of
can.
That's probably the hops.
thing. Dude, it's always the hops.
I had an absolutely terrible pour.
Had an amazing pour.
A good taste of the head.
That's half
that is
head,
aromatic.
Joseph. Yep, you have
I
a
know.
glass of head with some beer in there.
And then I was trying to get those fancy little pouring noises, but I got a little bit too carried away. I didn't,
Yeah, I heard that earlier.
Oh, the pour.
that wasn't even me. I was trying to...
All right, so for the first time of what feels like forever, I'm actually the topic holder this week.
Yeah, and the queue has reset, by the way, gentlemen. So that means
It could be any one of us next week.
free ball next
be
week,
you.
or the week after
It could
next
even
week.
it could even be
Bi-weekly,
the listeners.
semi-weekly.
That'd be fun.
Man, I'm scared.
Anyway,
I'll
so
put music
this week I
plays in
wanted
the
to talk about SpaceX.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, a few weeks ago we had the Falcon Heavy launch,
Phenomenal.
which was really cool.
Phenomenal.
We can talk
Coolest
about that a
thing
little
I've seen
bit.
in a while.
Yeah. They just launched another Falcon 9 rocket that brought up some satellites.
Nice.
They've been doing a lot of stuff recently, and they're making space exciting again.
Mm-hmm.
Make space
When has space
exciting.
not been exciting though?
Well, see, the thing is like you know, ever since the shuttle program shut down, for Americans, space hasn't really been like a thing that, you know, we like. It's been like, you know, kind of out there. Like, you know, we've had these private companies now starting to develop stuff, but this is the first time there are private companies that are like, you know, really getting out there and you know breaking new ground and doing
Spurring a next space race.
Yeah,
I mean, in
exactly.
reality.
Hopefully, that's what Elon wants.
The one good thing that I think
Old
that
Muskie.
came out recently too, I don't know if this was, I know part of it was because of the Trump administration, but one thing that has come about recently is that they are trying to make it more commercially friendly to be in the space game. So, like, for example, asteroid mining. We actually have a couple, Planetary Resources is a name that's starting to pop up more and more with, like, asteroid mining and stuff like that, and commercial and private ventures in that. And they've enacted new laws in these last couple of years that's like, hey, you can go out there and go farm an asteroid if you want, because a company can go out there and just grab whatever resources they need. But here's the next thing. If you can get yourself out and can pull and tow a asteroid into our orbit and stuff like that, then anybody can fly up there and mine off that exact same asteroid. You don't get to claim the asteroid. You get to claim the resources if you can identify the resource in a specific area. But if somebody landed a craft on the opposite side of the asteroid, another company could start drilling on that asteroid. So you have this field, this playing field being created that's going to allow for a lot of competitiveness
Man,
in
this
that
is
game.
turning into Dead Space. Is what it
That sounds
like.
really scary, though. I don't think we're anywhere near.
I don't like
close.
it.
Could you imagine, like, I mean, like, in actuality, you could equip a drone to go up there and be like, oh, they're mining on our asteroid, let's go blow them out of the sky. Because it's outside of all kinds of realms, and you can fire, you know, something in space, and, like, technically, I mean, that's fine. You could literally have military-grade arms out there that could fight on the asteroids.
We could write the code to scan that asteroid. And find
Scan
out.
that asteroid.
Yeah.
Scan that asteroid.
Snap on your phone.
What would scanning the asteroid do?
It would just.
phone?
Yeah, you just scan. You just point it at there's an asteroid, man. You just,
So
It's
you
going to be
just,
iOS or Android?
both, dude.
Windows Phone.
Windows Phone only.
Windows Phone only.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Microsoft-
sorry, BlackBerry 10 only.
You scan the asteroid, and you just. This has this nutrient in it, and it has this metal in it. You know,
Did you just say nutrient?
Yeah, dude. Because you get nutrients like from Mass Effect and stuff like that. You can find nutrients and other types of soils.
I mean, it's not
and
that,
rocks.
it's not that unheard of, because I know that they do use similar technologies to actually kind of predict where to drill for like oil and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
I was completely joking. I don't think we should do that.
I think what Bobby's more saying is that we're going to go out in my backyard, point our phone at the sky, and be like, "Oh, that asteroid is mostly iron."
That's exactly what I was saying. Let's not do that. Please, let's not do that.
No. There are instruments that do take in light from certain objects, celestial or not, and can
Nutrients?
they can estimate the nutrients within.
They use
they can-
spectrometers to actually figure out what the shift is.
But
on
it's
the
not.
light
It's
coming
not
in.
going to be your iPhone.
Well, the problem
Hey,
is
why not?
that
Well, at least not anytime soon.
Why not?
It
write the code.
reads off of atmosphere,
Machine
which
learning.
asteroid won't have atmosphere,
Oh, yeah.
which is kind of the problem there. But the thing is that you got these companies, and there's a couple of them based out of here in Texas that are trying to get up on that level. So it's going to be really interesting to see exactly how that all happens. But you said Falcon 9 Heavy launch. It was a success.
Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy.
Falcon Heavy's launch was successful with both boosters landing in tandem. I heard a rumor that one of them was lost. That's
not a rumor. That's confirmed. So
yeah.
there were
They
three
had
there were three boosters on it. So they've got their smaller Falcon 9 rocket, and Falcon Heavy is basically three of those strapped together with a payload on top of it. So what the plan was, for those that might not have known, is it was going to go up. The two side boosters would detach, come fly back down and land, and then the third booster would push it further, and then that was going to come off and land on a drone ship in the ocean.
Floating barge.
Yeah. So the 2 side boosters landed safely. That was all great. But the center booster, when it was coming back down, there was 3 engines that were supposed to fire to kind of slow its descent. Only one of them fired. So, and its path wasn't right either.
Yeah.
So it hit about, I think they said it was like 100, 200 meters or something like that away from the barge at 300 miles an hour.
Well, it's very good that they missed it because that would have been a bad day.
Hey, we're gonna catch it! I got it!
Well, apparently, like even though it was a little bit of a distance away, the explosion when it impacted the water sent debris and damaged the drone barge anyway.
It did, yeah. And the cameras cut out too on the live stream.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I think I did see
the
that.
vibration.
I didn't see that one.
According to them on the live stream, like the cameras cutting out at that point was normal.
They did say that.
But I mean, when because if you go back and watch the live stream, whenever like it shows the people and like you can see that they get word from like control that like it broke.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they were told not to say that,
Don't say
and they're like, "Oh, we just got
Move the ball!
Nope.
I remember watching that. That was crazy.
Do you see the guy who's the boat controller with his like little control and he just slowly pushes it to full thrust?
There's actually people that speculate that the entire thing was just CGI from NASA. You know, there's
Of course, it's CGI.
These the flat earthers?
Yeah, the flat earthers are saying,
Oh my god.
saying that it wasn't real.
But like Elon had like kind of a good thing. He's like, you can tell it's fake you can tell it's real by how fake it looks.
Yeah, because like
Reality is
it'd be
real.
kind of weird to see like, hey, there's
That's a
these
huge
giant
trope.
boosters coming down, they're landing.
Yeah, but the thing is like, they landed, like, if you watch
At
the
the
video,
same time.
the exact same time. And, like,
Yeah.
anybody that would be creating a fake version of that would be like, no, that's too fake.
Yeah,
Stagger the landing.
yeah.
Right.
Stagger it.
But it was perfect.
It was
a
perfect.
beautiful
And it should
landing
have been,
there.
because if you think about it, they were at the same altitude.
They were the same
There was
altitude,
no
like-
reason for it to be staggered.
Yeah, like, literally everything was just symmetrically in parallel. They should have done exactly what they did.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, when you're introducing software to the equation, that's what software is designed to do. Do the same thing every time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the biggest. I
It
mean,
has
in
to
all
be
honesty,
deterministic.
yeah. Well, I mean, I think honestly that it's still a great landing because I mean, I'm sorry to say, like, it sucks that the barge got kind of injured, but I think that the whole thing, if one of the boosters like crashed on landing on dry land, that would probably be a little bit worse of a
Yeah.
situation because those landing pads were so close together. Then I mean, what happens whenever one of those does crash, and if they are coming down at the same time, and one of them, the other one's gonna get all
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah,
catastrophic.
I mean, like with the failure of the third booster or not, like the thing is like that launch was a big push forward because for them it's demonstrating the reusability of these rockets. Like the rockets will come back down and just land perfectly, and all they have to do is like a little bit of maintenance to get them flight ready again.
Yep.
Right.
And like they can just continuously reuse these rockets, and it makes it cheaper for them
Way
to fly
cheaper.
things like just out in space. Because like the numbers on this. A Falcon Heavy flight costs about $90 million to get something up into orbit, which sounds like a lot, but for NASA to do the same thing is about $1 billion.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it was like per kilogram, it was like a couple $100 or something like
that's
that, or
dirt cheap.
Wow.
When you're talking
compared
about sending
to
something to
thousands of
space.
dollars,
Yeah.
per pound or kilogram. I mean, it's incredible.
So one thing that I've been kind of thinking about is my friend brought this up to me too. Shouts out to Stacy Vasquez. Is that SpaceX is a private company and they have these capabilities to go out into space, but are they advancing science in any way when they do this aside from just launching?
I mean, they kind of gotta be.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily even science, but processes that are going to have to be made in order for a reusable rocket program to go into effect. Because the problem is with, like, you see this with the airplanes. You have a very thorough regimen because, like, commercial airplanes and stuff are ran 24/7 in these continuous routes, and the FAA over time has developed a checklist of things that you must do in order to continue to run these planes at the way that they are, to be safe, to be I mean, that's just how it works. But if you have, like, say, the shuttle program, which the boosters on that were not reusable, you're launching that system once, okay? And say there was one mistake that was made during the construction of that system, or whatever the case may be. In the case of the Challenger, it was an O-ring that wasn't installed correctly and stuff like that. It caused the deaths of all those astronauts on board. Mm-hmm. You have a system that has worked before. You already have an approved, you have a proven system that can take things into orbit, okay? Now the next thing that you have to do is figure out a checklist to make it reusable, all right?
Right.
They had something like that for the shuttle program, but that's probably following the same kind of, I guess, maybe checklist that like an airplane would go through. And this is all speculation here, but there's never been anybody who's ever created a kind of checklist for security and safety of an actual vertical launch system and landing system like that. So you're creating
I guess
a safety net.
I see what you're saying. He's pioneering these new processes. I guess what I really meant to ask was, does he plan on exploring space?
Well, so like, you know, his end goal like definitely is colonization of Mars. That's one of like, you know.
So transport, but
yeah.
What about other things?
Well, I mean, if you just want to speak to his character, I believe all the schematics for his Tesla cars are open source. Like, you can just go download them and build your own. I mean, if you had the technical wherewithal, you can actually build your
if
own.
you have the facility.
And it even goes to show how resistant car companies are, because they don't want super energy efficient cars, because then that's going to go against the...
They don't even want people to be able to work on their cars. There's a movement between that and even like a lot of manufacturers, like John Deere with farming stuff. You have these hackers of farming equipment. People don't want you to be able to work on their cars anymore. You've noticed, if you've ever worked on a car before, tried to do an oil change, it gets more and more difficult every year because they try to make it more proprietary and more locked down to where you have to go to a dealership.
Right.
He makes it where it's easy.
Yeah, he is pushing the science forward, and, you know...
What kind of
making
speaking
it,
on?
I guess, easier for agencies who do primarily only want to explore new spaces and stuff, making that easier to happen, I guess.
Right.
But also kind of like speaking on pushing the science, like another thing that the Falcon Heavy launch did, well, you know, what they launched into space was pretty much useless, just sending a Tesla out there.
Well, not even that. It's not even completely useless.
What they did with it, one of the things is like they flew in their orbit around a particular area of like high radiation, and they were like doing this as a demonstration to the Air Force that it's okay to fly through this radiation, like, you know, or that they had done something that would make it more okay. So like they're, you know, trying to, I guess, push science in that a little bit, because even in sending people to Mars, there's, you know, bigger exposure to radiation. So, you know, they're I guess pushing the science, you know, for protection from that.
Yeah.
The thing.
I was going to say, and the other reason they used the Roadster was because if not, they would have had to use like a cement block or something like that. And like,
that's what I was going to say.
How uninteresting would that have been?
A mass simulator.
We just sent a piece of...
That's why old Muskie was like, nah, put my car up there.
But, you know, and here's something to think about too. You know, he successfully did it. Everything that he does it's a chess move, you know. He has to get cargo down right. These processes need to be mapped and figured out for reusable rocket systems to land on Mars and take back off on Mars, because that's the goal. It's not going to be a single-way trip. So you need to perfect that here on Earth. Well, in order to perfect it on Earth, you need to deliver cargo to show that your rockets can actually carry the load. You need to then get to a point to where you have enough reliability in your takeoffs and landings to create a model of, I guess, risk. So that way you can then start sending people up to places, because they've got, I think, the capsule made for it, but you can't.
The spacesuit too?
Huh?
The spacesuit too?
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is that they still aren't even willing to send people up, not exactly at this moment, at least not with all of their rockets.
They're getting close, though. I do know that they have plans to send 2 people on a fly around the moon.
Right.
And it's 2 people that apparently just approached SpaceX and were like, hey, we want to do this. And we'll pay you all the money that it cost. They say that they're waiting until they can determine that these people are fit for the space flight before they release their names. But apparently that they're taking that on, and they're going to use the Dragon capsule to send these people around the moon.
Elon Musk
that's
himself.
That's what's freaking cool about it. You know, another thing to think about too is that with all of this stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if Elon is, and I'm bringing this up again, is thinking about the possibility of even asteroid mining, because that is going to be, I think, a huge player in the future. I mean, if he can have a reusable rocket system that can transport stuff up and down from space, then you can start figuring out, well, I already have a reusable space launch system. Why don't I just launch a probe out over at this near-Earth object? You know?
This is a dude that started a company called The Boring Company.
The Boring Company.
And pretty much, like, that company's purpose, like, while it is doing something useful, like, he started that company to raise money for his other companies.
Yeah.
Right, because he sold like a hat, and then I guess more recently it was the
flamethrower, which was just a propane torch, but that's,
right.
And then the fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
The thing with it is that even the boring, because he literally has drilling stuff and mining things in there. Like, I'm going to go ahead and put out a theory right now. What if in the next 5-10 years he announces that I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we have enough, because he also owns a battery making facility which uses rare earth minerals. If he was able to capture the right asteroid, he'd have an unlimited supply of materials that he would need to make as many batteries as he could possibly ever want. I mean, that would be the smart thing to do. Literally, because there is a limited supply of materials, I'll just go get some from somewhere else.
But, I don't, unless that Roadster is equipped with much more capability than we know about.
It is.
I don't know if we're capturing an asteroid anytime soon.
I'm just saying that you need to have a reliable launch and retrieval system that can go...
in the same way that he used the Boring Company to fund his SpaceX.
In the future, when we can grab asteroids, he will create a hobby company to go mine asteroids to raise money.
And yes,
he's already got a need
as a platform.
He's already got a need. Okay, Tesla. All right. He's got a transportation method to send things up into space, SpaceX. He has a company built about drilling things and burrowing and shit like that. That's the mining part right there. He has a need, a means, and a way to do it.
So I know
the big three.
I know Elon's also behind the Hyperloop, but what company is that under?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I think it may be the Boring Company, because they need the Boring Company to drill the holes for the Hyperloop system. I mean, all of his ventures seem to have multiple purposes at all times.
It's all connected.
Well,
It is, dude.
Did you guys?
It's a good businessman right there.
Do you guys know what his background, like what his degrees are?
Computer science?
No,
he doesn't have any STEM background.
No, he does. Kind of. They're in economics and in physics.
Yeah.
Those are his two degrees.
Oh, physics, yeah. But yeah, he's...
But I mean, like,
But he made
his
PayPal.
Yeah, his claim to fame was co-founding PayPal.
Yeah.
After he immigrated from South Africa.
Is he...
He's black.
Oh, man.
Bro, he's from Johannesburg, man.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Nah, I don't know what he is.
Did you hear the theory that he's actually an alien and he's just trying to build all these things so that he can
so he can get home?
He can get home.
ET phone home. There was also a theory that Elon Musk was Satoshi, who created...
Satoshi?
Yeah. He came out and said, no.
No.
That's just what he would say if he actually was, though. I mean, like...
no.
We all know Santoshi is a neckbeard.
What reason does Satoshi even have to, say, I am Satoshi? And who would actually believe him?
Nobody would.
If I told you
Absolutely
Satoshi,
nobody.
would you
No
believe
one
me?
would believe him, but...
I might believe that.
he would be immediately accused of currency manipulation if he came out.
That's why I'm not coming out. I mean...
And racketeering with all the stuff that led up to, like, Silk
Money
Road
laundering.
and the Armory and stuff like that, money laundering. Like, governments are pissed about
Check
cryptocurrencies.
our Facebook comments. It's not loading up on my iPad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We
if
had one from Summit Sunny that says,
Sumit
I
Sunny.
love you,
Oh.
heart. And then I wrote back, we like you too.
Oh, thanks.
but as a friend.
No, but yeah, just as a quick side note, that's the reason Charlie Lee, the creator of Litecoin, sold all of his assets. He no longer holds any cryptocurrency or any
wow.
Litecoin.
But how can we be sure of that? That's the idea of cryptocurrency.
That's true, but he came out and said that he did. So
Okay,
and his
sure.
public wallet.
His public wallet. Okay, but you can't trust that. That's the idea of cryptocurrency. He could be hoarding a ton of shit, and we would never know.
That's very true.
There's no point of being like, oh yeah, I sold all my earnings or all my coins,
He didn't sell them; he gave them to charities. The actual,
or even that. I mean, you just can't believe it.
I find it funny that, like, now the, I guess...
It's a conspiracy.
the narrative has changed. Everyone's like, oh yeah, like cryptocurrency's super down now, right? It's like, well,
Dude, it's
not
still up
really.
over
It's
after
like,
that surge that just happened. It's still higher than where it was before.
Yeah, that's what it's
That's
like.
what cryptocurrency does,
if
dude.
you look at the long
it
view.
fluctuates.
Yeah, well, no, it's like if you were in like when we were talking about it when we started this podcast, and you held through all of that, you'd still be profitable right now.
Sure, yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's like, it's just
'Cause, like,
funny to me how little people know about it, and they're so afraid of it.
Because like I'm trying to think when we first brought up like crypto on this podcast, what was the price? It was.
I know the price of Litecoin was around 30.
Yeah.
What about Bitcoin though?
Bitcoin was like, it was under.
Bitcoin's
It was
like,
at
Bitcoin's like
10,000.
the
Yeah, it
Ethereum
was.
right
I think
now.
I think it just broke 10,000 when we brought it up.
You sure?
It keeps
think-
jumping around between 10,000. Wait,
No,
are you talking about when we
no,
first
no,
talked
no,
about
when we
it?
first talked about it?
When we first talked
Oh,
about
no,
it.
less
It was
than
like
10,000.
It was like I want to say like 5 or 6.
Yeah, I want to say it was probably close to around 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then it just jumped up and
20
flew
grand.
up.
So you probably like if you had held till now, you probably doubled your money
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
At least.
Yeah.
at least,
But
depending on when you sell.
no one cares to even do the research into it. So that
I invested like 5,000 when it was at 5,000 and sold when it hit 20,000. So
yeah.
What the hell?
So
thanks,
you're
man.
saying you are Satoshi?
No, he helped me out because he's one of the. I mean, that's awesome, Brad. That's really cool.
That's pretty cool.
I'm still riding that Ethereum train right
God,
now.
I wish I held on since like 20. I wish I got on at 2014 and just kept it somewhere and just
you know what I wish?
I wish.
I wish Trump hadn't done that shit. They crashed the stock market this week.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
What happened in
Wait,
the
what the
stock
hell?
market? I'm up with everything.
Well, I mean, I haven't checked my personal portfolio, but he put like a big tariff on steel imports, which
I thought his whole thing was like he's gonna make all the
Cucumber.
like people.
Are
running
you, wait,
around-
hang on. Are you trying to take him at his word? Because you got to stop right there.
Whoa!
There's your problem. Your premise is
I
incorrect.
thought like
Shots
coal
fired.
or whatever was what he's gonna bring back.
Well, this is steel.
Well, aren't they sort of like in the same vein in the ground that you hit with the pickaxe?
Vein.
Hey, they're all nutrients.
There are
So, hey, when do you guys think we're going to start using like intergalactic credits?
I mean, that's kind of what Bitcoin is.
It is all the
Are you
credits.
guys-
It's
Yes, are
not
you
because I
seeing
mean, like,
what's-
if I take my Bitcoin over to like some other galaxy, I don't think they're going to take it.
Are you guys-
Because they don't have blockchain
I
like a
think-
bunch of dumbasses, dude. They're still using fiat.
It's because their Bitcoin node crashed the other week.
No, I think that's closer
Hey.
to what
I just thought of something.
Oh yeah.
galactic currency would be.
I think me and you just thought about the same thing at the same time.
Did we?
I think so.
We'll see. Okay.
All right, on the count of three, y'all say it at the same time. Ready? One,
It's mine's actually a sentence.
three.
Interplanetary internet.
Whoa!
Did we?
You did.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, that's what Elon's trying to set up, right?
I don't
One of his
know.
things.
No, well, I mean, okay, so what
He talked about it, right?
what he just launched, I mean, he might be, like, thinking about that. I don't know.
How
But
would
the
you do
satellite internet says.
Yeah, you'd have
so,
satellites
like,
chained.
Well, yeah, so, like,
I suppose.
That's a good idea. But, like, last week or so, they launched another Falcon 9, the smaller rocket.
Right.
And they put up, like, a couple of satellites out there that are supposed to bring internet to areas that have never had the internet before.
So by having
Isn't
that,
Google
it's
trying to do
probably.
Google's also trying to do that.
But his satellites are probably equipped with something that beams or has like a direct IR beam going straight to.
No, see, what happens is that once it gets over the area, it shoots an Ethernet cable out of the satellite down to Earth.
I'm talking about to Mars, dude. There's no way that
And
they're
then
shooting
they
Ethernet.
plug that Ethernet cord into a tree, and then the tree gives you all the Wi-Fi.
No, I'm talking about the Mars system, dude. They shoot a fiber optic cable at Mars, and then basically.
That's a lot of money. Dude.
And then you send yourself over there through fiber optic cable, right?
Nah,
Yeah,
man,
dude,
but-
that's where the boring company comes in.
Hyperloop.
I mean, obviously,
No.
like,
What you do is you upload your consciousness through the fiber optic cable to
Well,
Mars.
okay,
all right, but on a serious note, though, like, you know, the chaining of satellites to get us internet, I think that's definitely, you know, what's going to end up happening down the line in the future. Because we kind of already have that. Like, if you think about, like, you know, the Curiosity rover, like, if you've seen some of the pictures that have come out recently, it's so high def.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
But I know, like, they're receiving those, like, you know, data on a delay of, like, 14 minutes. But, I mean, eventually that's going to get better. If we can get, you know, like,
You can't play
satellites,
Fortnite on it, though. On that connection.
yeah, like as our, you know, technology in that area kind of, like, do we have satellites that orbit Mars?
Yeah, we do.
Do we?
Yeah, they're weather tracking satellites, actually.
Although-
They track for the windstorms.
Here's something else. why would we assume that the internet will have to come from Earth when they could just build it over there?
Well, I mean,
you
the
gotta
whole
have-
idea of the internet isn't exactly like the internet's coming from Earth.
Okay.
The internet already is a peer-to-peer system, basically. I mean,
So-
'cause-
Right. So we just need to build.
You would just
Exactly.
need to
You
have a
just need to-
backbone that
Yeah,
goes through.
Like, the pipes that connect us to other countries, that's basically the way it's going to be, just through satellites.
satellites,
like the
across
undersea
space.
cable,
Solid.
basically.
Could you
Think of the
imagine
undersea
that?
cable
Like
over
Could you
there.
imagine when we hit that milestone? It's like the first email sent from Mars.
They talked about that in The Martian.
It's a meme.
Matt Damon already did that.
Dude, you know what?
And he grew a potato with it too. He googled how to grow potatoes.
It's awesome. Actually,
And then
something like that,
he sent emoticon boobs back to Earth.
something like that actually happened recently. I don't know if it was recently, but there was
Something like emoticon.
happened. It
Something
happened
like someone
Something-
texting from Mars
kind of
happened recently.
kind of in the same line, I guess. It was like the International Space Station. An astronaut didn't have a wrench, and he's like, "Hey, I need a wrench, dude."
Oh, they 3D printed a
3D printed a wrench.
Yeah, that was really cool.
I was like, "That's badass, man." I like
Yeah,
that.
man.
how
that's
does
cool.
how does a 3D printer work without gravity, though?
It just I don't know.
The
Maybe they just
extruder-
spin it really fast.
Yeah,
It
it would
creates
have
no
to.
gravity.
You'd have to apply a downward force the whole time.
Just push on it.
Just grabbing into your hand as it's
I don't think it would work.
I need
Well,
this.
I actually don't know how they would have.
No, because
They have a special one on the.
If I'm
on the
thinking about
space
like
station now.
I mean I know that like the gap between like the extruder and like what it's printing is like really really small,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time I feel like that like when it starts squirting out the filament, it's just going to start going everywhere.
Well,
even
no, it
even
would
with that
go
small
in
gap.
the direction that it's squirting.
It just has to dry immediately or harden immediately.
Well, unless somebody goes.
Maybe it's actually just in no, actually it wouldn't work either. How the hell do they do that?
I mean, yeah, it's just going to go in the direction that the squirter is shooting it. Now, if it's shooting it in like, I don't know,
Okay, I guess
all the way to the
well,
left.
Okay,
then
okay.
yeah,
I guess here's more what I think would be more of a problem. This is like, yeah, it'll come out in that direction, but when it hits like where it's supposed to land,
it's gonna stick and
It's
stay
gonna
there.
like in our gravity it would stick there, and then it would be cooled, and then it would become plastic. But it already is plastic. But in space, I don't know if it would work the same.
Which part? The cool?
Well, we just
Well, like because like it's pretty much
The adhesion?
instantaneously, like yeah, it adheres and pretty much
okay. Look, I know
cools really quickly.
None of us were good at physics, but the idea is it's just going to keep going and applying its force into the
Are you about to look this up?
I'm gonna look this up. 'Cause I'm
It's
actually
going to
really
keep
curious about
applying
this.
its force into
Well, okay.
the flat part, and so unless the flat part moves, it's not going to go anywhere else.
As long as
It doesn't
you can-
lose its sticky property just
Absolutely.
because it's in
That- yeah.
space.
So I think maybe the other thing that you would have to think about is to make sure that what it's extruding comes out in one stream, because the second it breaks, it will become a sphere.
Well, I mean, like when you're extruding from a 3D printer, like it is a continuous stream.
It is, but there's also that gap.
They
So
probably
as you're
also have a
extruding,
lot
it might
better
change shape, and it would just
3D
become a
printer.
blob.
That's also true. There's some pretty crazy 3D printers out there.
But yeah,
So NASA-
it's problematic to say the least.
NASA actually had an experiment back in December, actually, about this, and apparently
And they angered the aliens
it just works. It's fine.
without modification. It just
I guess I'm not gonna read this entire experiment, but
I'm guessing it probably doesn't operate under
I
the
mean,
same
okay.
functionality as water, because water has surface tension, which
Wait.
makes it go into a bubble. But the thing is that plastic isn't necessarily water.
did
it's
they?
still a liquid though when it comes
Did
out.
they-
Right?
did they-
Well,
just
but the thing
disprove?
is that liquid
Or
is
the-
not like so. Like
can't do that.
mercury at room temperature has different properties than how water does, because
Viscosity,
of,
density, sure, yeah.
But that's what I mean is that since it's not
this is
necessarily,
beyond our pay grade.
we don't get paid for doing this,
we need to
Brad.
bring a scientist on.
Elon.
and they
That's
can-
why it's beyond our pay grade.
Elon, what do you have to say about this?
dude, what if he chimed in like, what I would just leave. I'm like, this is too much.
You guys are fucking idiots.
Watch him like tune in.
Then he
and
talked
watch
about
this.
tripping balls. And
Yeah.
that's what he
Dude.
said on TV.
I got this great idea, man. It's called PalPay. You can like send money to your friends, and it's great.
Have y'all seen my new Roadster?
Let me see my new Roadster. It's faster than anything.
No.
All right, you have a second topic.
No.
No.
Well, you know what I want to talk about? Y'all already know.
No.
Guys want to talk about King of the Hill?
Oh. All right, yeah. Let's get this
actually,
stupid debate out.
so-
of
We can play with this idea a little bit.
So you know how like in King of the Hill they get from Ireland to El
Mexico,
Paso,
and
and
yeah,
all
yeah.
in 20 minutes. They're actually just using Hyperloop. I looked it up.
Oh my god! Hey man, everything you read,
How do they get around the wall though?
everything you read on the
They-
internet is
Hyperloop.
No, under.
Under the wall.
They go so
Warren
fast.
Company.
They go so fast, it just fades right through it. Don't tell you.
Okay.
Well, before the show and the cast actually started, we had the great idea that since since King of the Hill is coming back on the air this next year, we had the idea that King of the Hill is actually about a purgatory for Texans. Arlen is purgatory for Texans.
And why do you think that, Zach?
Because think about it.
He will tell
Because
you.
the thing is that everything just sucks in Arlen. Everything's just so normal and plain. Like, they drink crappy beer all the time. They live very mundane lives, and nothing ever seems to go right. There's always these challenges of ethics that are always taking place in Arlen. Like with Dale trying to go on with a scheme, and then everybody's like, oh, no, you can't do it that way, blah, 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 blah. And, the fact that you can actually go from any area you could go any direction from Arlen, and it's like 20 minutes to get there, whether it be...
It's a geographical oddity.
It is, and the only way that you could have a geographical oddity is if it is purgatory. They are in purgatory. Hank Hill died in a propane fire. Bobby died by eating himself to death.
So yeah, so no,
And
no, no,
Peggy
no. Okay, so
got
wait,
killed
hang
in a rogue boggle tournament where a die flew
Boggle. Okay, so hang on. We need to talk about why Hank is in purgatory.
Yeah, what do you do to get to Texan purgatory?
Well,
You're not a-
obviously,
you're not a devout Texan.
okay. So here's my theory now. If we're actually talking about this, and we're actually devoting brain power to this. If Hank is in Texan purgatory, the reason why he's there is because he was so adamant about propane in his natural life. Whereas in Texas,
we smoke.
and we use charcoal if
Low
we're grilling.
and slow.
Yeah.
I think it might have been because of that and his inability to move forward with anything, and his set-in ways were almost he couldn't fulfill his purpose in life, and because of it, he was forced to go into purgatory. And his purpose in life is to figure out how to move past propane, but he's never been able to move past it because he's so hell-bent on it. His sin is his stubbornness.
It's Texan sin.
His Texan sin.
So,
It's Texan.
a quick step away real quick. I actually looked up how the 3D printing works in space. NASA is super tight-lipped about it. They haven't released the designs of all that, of
They don't
course.
want to talk about
They
it.
don't want to talk about it, but basically, it's like any spot where there was a little bit of motion, there's like a platform that will adjust for that motion. So it's like, it's in a little shoebox thing, and it has to like just move like freaking crazy to keep up with,
Oh, so it's like a gyroscope.
kind
That's
of.
insane.
So that's
Little
basically what I
microcontroller.
get.
Wow.
That sucks though. That's like, oh my god.
That's pretty cool.
You got a lot of parts that can break on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
Back to Arlen.
Why is Peggy in Texan purgatory?
She died in a boggle tournament.
She
He plays
is.
boggle. That's his thing. You don't play as boggle. You don't just do that.
Dallas Salad.
So I guess her sin would, be arrogance. I don't know the 7 deadly sins all that well.
Arrogance.
The seven. What are the seven
Arrogance.
deadly Texan sins?
Arrogance in a sense that she
Arrogance,
believes
propane.
that she's the best boggle player. She
Perhaps,
believes that she's actually good at speaking Spanish. She believes that she is
pride?
the best. Pride. That's
Yeah.
the word that I'm looking
Pride.
for.
There you go.
Prideful.
She is there for pride. Now, Bobby, if you need a
Gluttony.
question, yeah,
Glutton.
if you need an explanation on that one, then I'm sorry.
Okay, Dad.
Oh my god.
Hold on, before we continue on, let me pull something up real quick.
What?
I wish we had a friend like Boom. Nah, actually, I just realized what I said.
Boomhauer.
I don't want a friend like Boomhauer.
I think
Don't think
Boomhauer
about
though is the and they kind of do this at the very end of the series. Real quick, spoiler alert for everyone who hasn't seen the end of King of the Hill. Have you guys all seen the end of King of the Hill?
No.
Is that where he's
No,
like?
but I don't mind having it spoiled.
There's an end.
If I wasn't
Yes.
Wait.
your dad, I'd hug you right now.
No. This is about Boomhauer, and it's the last
Dustin
episode.
Nguyen?
It ends with him, and he's like kind of goes into his story, and the very last credits, from what I remember, his wallet's on the table, and everybody's always curious, like, what does Boomhauer do? He's actually a Texan Ranger, and he has his badge and stuff like that.
He's been investigating Hank.
Well, I think he is a. I think he's supposed to be like the guardian, the angel, like the actual ranger of the purgatory. Okay,
And that's why you can't understand what he's saying because it's too holy.
the thing is that he goes along with their tasks and stuff like that. I think he might even be maybe even like a fallen angel in a sense.
Maybe just bored. He's like, hey, I'm stuck in Ireland as well. I have to watch you guys.
Perhaps
you mean
his
he's
sin
like,
was-
yeah, man, I'm stuck in Ireland.
Perhaps
I think his.
Okay, so here's something. I've never met a Texan that speaks like Boomhauer.
I was going to say
He's from
perhaps his
Louisiana.
Texan
From Louisiana.
sin-
He's got to be from Louisiana.
Perhaps
He's
his
from
Texan
Louisiana
sin is that
originally.
he's from Louisiana. He never mastered the Texan accent.
And that's the thing is that he's not from that world.
Neither did I.
And because of it,
You know,
I think he's there for lust. He was an angel that is kind of brought there. What the hell, dude? Okay.
You're just making shit up.
No, I'm going through. Well, okay, look,
That's reaching.
he's literally lustful in a sense that he always has people in there, and like,
No, that's like the.
That's John Redcorn.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's John.
oh,
Yeah.
you know what? No, I apologize. So, okay, well, but what he's always bringing girls home too. So, like, is that not considered lustfulness if he does it? I guess because he's the angel, he doesn't have to.
Let's see.
Maybe he's bringing the girls home and he's actually
Redcorn
killing
is
them.
after what's
John
his-
Redcorn is
Dale's
the
wife.
Dale's wife.
he's
yeah.
the Indian guy who is fucking Dale's wife. So.
But I mean, even though that was wrong, he was faithful to her.
Well, he is. Yeah, he does that, and I
John
guess.
Redcord's sin was not using the whole cow.
Okay, real quick question, guys. What does covetousness mean?
It means
covet
It
something?
means to like want to
You-
bang your
you
No,
want
covet.
neighbor's
something
wife.
Covet.
that you
That's a
don't
want.
have.
Right.
Hang on.
Really?
What?
Let's hear it from the Catholics.
I am not Catholic.
Covetous means like you just you want what other people have.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're
You want
jealous.
what you
So
don't
you're
have.
jealous of other
You're
people's
jealous.
things.
Covet.
Like
So
I
that
neighbor's
would be
wife.
that would be Bill. That would be Bill. That would be Bill.
He was-
Because he literally wants Peggy and like every other person's life. Yes, Bill wants every. Yeah, Bill Dotry.
Well, because he's so damn depressed with his own life that he wants to be
I just
anybody
want to have your
else.
life, please. Give me your life.
If he didn't want to have other people's stuff, if he didn't want other people's
Have
stuff,
other
he might be
people's
more
lives.
happy with what he already has. I mean, I'm just saying.
How the
I'm just
fuck
saying
did we
right
go
there.
from SpaceX to Ireland, Texas? What's going on?
Well,
Zach
because
really wanted to talk about this.
I think that this is a solid theory. Like
No, it's a good thing. I'm just like, this is crazy, dude. A little bit.
who would have anger?
The
Who would have-
listeners want to know
Wait,
the answers.
wait.
Bobby.
Vietnamese
Bill, or I'm sorry. So Hank, his deadly sin would be anger. He literally has an episode dedicated to it because of how angry he is.
What about
Wait,
that? What about the Vietnamese
dog?
dude?
What?
What about the Vietnamese dude?
The Vietnamese dude is envy. Like straight up envy. Like he's envious of his boss. Like nonstop.
Oh, that's true.
And he literally puts
With a little bit
other
of
people
pride.
down. With a little bit of pride, yeah. For sure.
And
For
anger.
sure. I don't really know
Get that
what
double dip
the
sin.
daughter is though.
But what did the dog do?
What? Ladybird?
Yeah.
What if Ladybird? Ladybird.
Ladybird's just death.
Yeah.
I am dead.
So the real
Speaking of dogs,
Are you getting a dog?
Mr. Pickles is coming.
dude, Mr.
wait, what?
Pickles is coming back.
Who's new Mr. Pickles?
Yeah. Mr.
Dude,
Pickles is going to
If
be
you guys haven't
great.
seen Mr. Pickles, go watch it. Don't watch it when there's kids around. Then
Yeah, no, it's pretty
It's
bad.
messed up.
I'll be watching it in like 20 years then.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bud.
I'm sorry.
You work from home.
Yeah,
You
I know.
literally have a TV going the whole time you work.
Yeah, but she walks now. She can just walk in the office.
That's why I said that there's going to be no more privacy forever.
It's just a fun dog that's barking and
No.
lets
That's
people
not-
open.
that's not what it is.
Dude, I don't even know if I feel comfortable watching that show. I'm going to be honest.
Zach and I watched the whole first season in one sitting. It was great.
If you can't
was
watch,
pretty
if you
fucking
can't
good.
watch,
Man,
Super Joe,
I saw one of those episodes, I think, with you guys, and I was like, this is too much for me.
if you can't watch Super Joe, you can't watch Mr. Pickles.
I've
Super
seen
Gel.
a few episodes of Super Gel, and that one's almost a little bit too much for me too.
Super Jail is great.
Super Gel is just like it's
not
one of
been
those. It's like
exposed to
it's
either
like
of these.
I can laugh at it a little bit, but
And then every ending is just like, oh god.
but like I'm just like
Where there's
I
the
sit there-
massive
Yeah.
like killing. and
I sit
stuff.
there and I just can't understand how somebody can sit down and write that.
Maybe they're crazy.
Well, it's called acid.
Well, I mean, there's probably that.
That's actually a shame too, because You know, I don't know if you guys watched Metalocalypse at all.
I don't know.
That's a good show.
Okay, that's a good show, and it got canceled because Adult Swim was like, we don't want to do it.
It's not as hardcore as Super Jail or
Mr. Pickles, but it's like the Doomstar Requiem. The last thing they did was really good. If you guys
the thing is that like Metalocalypse was a funny show that turned out good music.
Yeah.
It did, and they were a great band, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, for their genre.
And it was basically just one guy.
Yeah, Brendan Small.
Well, and that's the other thing, too, is that in all honesty, like, it's pretty well animated and stuff, too.
Yeah.
Like,
Damn
all... They're unique episodes and stuff, and I
want to go back and watch
the story.
Yeah, now I want to actually go back and watch
God,
it.
that first episode where they're shopping for stuff in the grocery store. He just puts his face through the glass. And gets
So wait, you're telling me if I put these things in hot boiling water, they'll shrivel up, turn red, and die?
It's like, yes. Like,
Dude, that's the most metal thing I've ever heard in my life.
And don't just spend it all on booze.
Booze ain't food. What do you mean booze ain't food?
Yeah, I'm going to go back and watch these now. I have to.
Let's just do a table reading of the first
Oh, God, yes.
Not a bad idea.
Man.
Any other Adult Swim shows?
Well,
reminisce on?
You guys always talk about Squidbillies. I've still never seen it.
Dude,
Man, that's another one.
as a guy
I don't know.
who no. Here's
I
the
hate
funny thing.
Squidbillies.
So for everybody who listens to the cast, I was born in Noonan, Georgia, and I spent a good part of my life living there, growing up and stuff like that. And from what I remember of Georgia, it is exactly like that, dude. Like some of those people there, they're all UGA fans or whoever has the Bulldogs. It's been so long, but I mean the thing is that there are just those kinds of people. There's a difference between Southerners, okay, and Texans, and my God,
Oh yeah.
that's exactly how it works.
I
whenever you see Squidbillies.
I could never get into Squidbillies. I saw a couple shows. I thought that I saw art shows. I saw a couple episodes of it, and I thought it was funny. And some of them I was just like, oh man.
See, the thing is that like, okay, so here's part of why like I think a lot of those like shows are just so strange to me, is that when I was in high school and like going to band in the mornings, I would wake up stupid early. And I had a TV in my room, and I would turn it on, and Adult Swim would still be on.
Right.
And a lot of times it was Super Jail, Squidbillies, the really weird shows.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's in my morning stupor where I'm not just like fully awake. So
Still
like
kind of
you're-
dream.
I'm gonna blow your mind. You need to check out Off the Air.
Oh, and then sometimes I get Tim and Eric, awesome show, great
Yeah.
job. I cannot stand
Dude, that show's
show.
crazy. There's a couple episodes where I actually bought on my Xbox Microsoft account because I blasted hard at it because it's so stupid.
Like,
But besides that, I can't watch a show. It's like watching.
It's cringy, dude.
Like Eric Andre. Like I can only watch that.
Dude, Eric Andre.
It's great.
That
but
dude is.
If you watch more than like 2 or 3 episodes and sitting, you feel like you're just like, yeah, like what's going on? I can't do it. Like, I can watch most 3 episodes in a sitting. I have to leave.
I don't think I've
I
ever
can't
watched
do
an
it.
episode. I've just seen what they put on Facebook.
Oh, dude, watch an episode. Do yourself a favor, because if you ever see his AMAs on Reddit, he basically explains his strategy. He does a couple of sketch comedy sessions, and you can barely even call it sketch comedy. Really what it is just being as weird as possible in public and getting the reactions of people.
Yeah.
And then he invites a special guest. I mean, he's had some pretty large names on there. Like, my favorite one has got to be, who is the guy that he kicked in the face, that Hannibal kicked in the face?
Oh, Flavor Flav?
Flavor Flav, yeah. So Flavor Flav was on one episode, dude. And so they get some pretty big names on there. And so what Eric does...
Like a desk on one of their...
They always do.
That's like their shtick. Is like,
really?
So
Yeah.
they spend. He actually disclosed on the Reddit AMA how much they spend on desks, and what happened is
making it out of cardboard.
no, they actually use partially sawed desks. Is how it works there.
So like
Wow.
IKEA desks.
So what they go through and they do is they actually turn up they turn up the volume, or the not the volume, the temperature in the room. All right.
Yeah.
They make it uncomfortably, not too much to where it's unbearable, but it's like a solid 85, 86 degrees. And then
Yeah.
with the actual
The heat
lights
lamp,
blaring
the
down on
lights.
you, that's why everybody's always sweating. And then they're like, man, it's really hot in here.
Yeah.
That's a genuine reaction whenever they say that in the interview.
Because he wants to make them
So-
uncomfortable because he feels like if you're uncomfortable, you're more likely to kind of talk and be like, yeah, like I just, you're not really thinking about like what you're saying. You're kind of like, oh man, like yeah, this happened, and you're just kind of like, dude, it's super hot in here, like.
And then they break it down to where they'll also like have a weird scent, so they'll have like some rotten shit lying around or something like that to make it just like, what the fuck is that smell kind of stuff. Like they want to make you as uncomfortable as possible.
What gets me about that is that like I've seen like a few of like the celebrity interviews of that show, like because like Eric's sitting there at the desk and then he's got his buddy there like standing just awkwardly behind. They're always just kind of looking back.
One thing about that shit too is
Hannibal
Buress. Yeah, he's like
a sidekick.
He's also a pretty good stand-up comedian. He's got a couple of specials out and stuff. Eric Andre. He's also on Broad City.
Yeah, Broad City.
Yeah, Broad City is another one that he does, and he does a really good job because he plays about the same character. He's pretty emotionless and stuff like that, and that's what's funny is because, like, in Eric Andre, he'll, like, just kind of chime in a little bit, and he does this impulsive shit, and because he doesn't show any emotion, you don't see it coming. So the episode where there's Flavor Flav, he's, like, sitting there, he's like, this is what my real voice sounds like out of nowhere, and, like, he just, nowhere out of the interview, it's just awkward silence, and he just says that, and then he kicks T-Pain in the face. Like, he literally kicks T-Pain in the face.
Like, one thing, too, is, like, those interviews actually go on for about an hour and 30 minutes, and they just clip the best bits out of it and shove it down into, like, an episode.
Yeah.
So these guys are there, like, for a while, and they're just like, oh, my God, it's really... Did you guys... I forgot which episode it was, but there's one where he's talking to someone, and, like, Eric just kind of look at him, and he goes, ah! And, like, a fake, like, penis comes out through the desk, and the guy's just, like, kind of look at it, and he's just like...
Oh, gosh, it was Kanye. No.
Was it T-Pain when that happened?
No, it wasn't T-Pain. It was a rapper I know.
Yeah.
How did we get here?
we went from King of the Hill, and then we jumped onto Adult Swim,
and now we're here.
And now we're on here, and he starts jerking this fake penis.
All right, so let's not get into that. I don't want to be that podcast.
But basically, he then the great part was that the guest on the show gets up and he goes, "No, I'm done. I'm not even doing this." And he gets up, walks out, and like knocks over like a bus that's like sitting on a table.
There was one with Lance. I think is it Lance Preston or is it Lance Redding? I can't remember his name. It's like first name is Lance. It's the guy from the big, scary, tall black dude from The Wire.
Oh no, I don't.
Well, he was on that, and then like he was joking around with them and saying whatever, and then out of script, or basically is like. He knows what's actually going on. He knows how the interviews are going. So to mess with Eric, he gets up and acts like he's mad, and he like slams his fist down on the desk. And Eric's like, "Whoa!" And he's like, "You need a new desk," and like walks out. And then he's like, "Oh, that was kind of crazy." But then he comes back out, and he's wearing this weird costume, and he starts dancing. And then Eric's just looking like, "What the hell's going on?"
So they reversed the prank on Eric.
And he was like, "Dude, I had no idea." So the show gets pretty wild.
There was the one where what's it called? What is the guy who does? The Tenacious D. Jack Black. Yeah, Jack Black was on there too. He's done one. He just gets big names on there, which is the surprising part. And for some reason, nobody seems to know anything about his show. But really
very obscure.
Yeah.
The thing that to take away from it is
celebrity. You're not really like trying to check out what he's doing. You don't really care that much.
You're a celebrity. You don't want to watch that kind of stuff. But that's the funny part about Adult Swim. I don't even know how they get some of those shows on. It's just a wide range. Everything from King of the Hill to Eric Andre.
I mean, Fish Center is still going.
Fish Center?
Yeah, dude. That one's a weird
Fish
one.
Center.
What is? Yeah.
They film a tank of fish, and every now and then they put like coins on it,
virtual coins.
Yeah, virtual coins. And whenever the fish swim through it, they get points, and so they have.
It's based off ESPN Sports Center.
There must be a lot of drugs at the Adult Swim
and
offices.
Then
William Street.
When we were still working at MMS, one of the fish died, and they had like this whole like ceremony where people were coming by and putting flowers outside the
William
Street
recording center in Atlanta, dude. And it was just hilarious. Like people watch it. Yeah. People legitimately watch it.
I know.
And then you can call in. And like vote for your favorite, or you can like say your favorite fish, and that gets more points for the fish that week. And then they had a whole junior league, and they get promoted to the Major League.
The funny thing is that this gets this started a new trend. If you've seen some of these live streams and stuff like that have been going on more and more recently and stuff, like the really obscure ones, like Zesty Memes, I think does one or something like that.
They do one
where they do like a live stream where it's like tell this man what to say, and it's like a live stream of a dude walking around in San Francisco on
seen
acid.
a couple of those.
And he's like, yeah, you're the voice in his head. He's pretending to be on drugs and stuff like that. And, they do, like, weird things like that. Or, puppy cam. You can feed, the dog if you would like to comment in our comment box. And, like, if you comment enough, you interact with the dog. It's started its own movement, and that's what's really freaking crazy. A new Facebook movement altogether.
Yeah, I've seen those. I always think they're pretty weird.
They're extremely weird.
They always look really weird.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of like Twitch plays Pokemon.
Yeah,
very similar.
It's like, who would sign up to like be the subject?
Well, now they have like the auctioning show on Adult Swim a lot, where it's like the two guys that wear gloves and they like auction things.
I don't.
You haven't seen that?
No.
It's like two guys, and like they wear. It's kind of like, I guess, Fish Center if you actually saw the people with the headphones and the mics on. And then, like, they'll get stuff from people and then they'll sell it and stuff like that.
What kind of stuff are we talking about, Scott?
It's like paintings. I don't know. It's just, it always, like, autoplays whatever they have on the app whenever I go in to watch stuff. So that's on, like, most of the time.
Jesus.
All right. This was a really weird tangent that we went on.
Yeah, it was.
This is a really weird beer.
Yeah, dude.
Let's talk about it, though.
Maybe that's what happened, dude.
Yeah, so...
You got slammed by the hops.
If you forgot, I know I did. We were drinking Hopslam.
Wait, really?
So, I don't think I really talked about it at the beginning. This was a double IPA at 10%.
Brewed with honey.
Which probably explains what happened here.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Anyway,
What year
let's
is
go
it?
around the table here. Zach, what do you think of it?
I think... No,
Just pass out.
I think it was a really great IPA, to be honest with you. I think it had the standard IPA flavor and hoppiness, but I liked that it wasn't overpowering because, as I've said before, I'm a fan of more light beers like lagers, blonde ales. I like that style, generally speaking. This doesn't leave a taste in my mouth. It was just enough sweetness from the honey to where it didn't overpower, just your mouth for the next, 3 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a solid 8 out of 10. In regards to an IPA, that was fantastic.
Cool. Joseph?
I like this one. This was good. Very aromatic, very tasty. The can describes it as an exceptionally aromatic blend of hops that combine in this balanced interpretation of the double IPA style. And I think that's pretty accurate. Actually, I think they're even kind of selling it a little bit short. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it more than that description. Like I said, the aroma. I didn't actually really get the honey. It says it's brewed with honey. I didn't really get that. I thought it was a little bit too bitter for that honey flavor to really come out. But all that being said, I've had better. And I want to give this a 7 out of 10.
All right. Scott?
I don't really like this one very much. It's like spicy in a weird way to me.
It's the bitterness.
Maybe it is the bitterness. I can definitely sort of taste that honey flavor, the sweetness to it. But to me, there's just something else left out there to be desired, and I'm not sure what it is. It's just missing some note, and
It might be the freshness.
maybe I'm
Could not
quite.
be quite. How do you know?
I do. This was canned on January 23rd.
Okay,
That's a
So-
shelf life of 3 months, too.
Yeah.
So
so that's maybe what it's missing.
So this is about a month and a half, almost a month and a half old.
Wait, you said January?
January 23rd. So almost a month and a half old.
No, that's...
It's only like a month old.
Well, February 23rd, and then
And
we're
it's
March 2nd.
second.
Okay.
It's like a
month and a week or two.
Okay.
what the fuck, Brian?
Well, damn, guys.
Get out of here, Brad.
Actually,
Anyway,
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to agree with maybe
Y'all a bunch of dicks.
maybe like a
Teachers now, old man.
maybe a 6.5. I don't know. It's just not very impressive to me, and it's super bitter. And like bitter to the point where it tastes spicy, and I don't know. I just don't
spicy.
want
Your
that.
taste buds are broken.
Spicy.
Your taste buds are young.
So 6.5 for me.
Evie liked it. No, I'm joking. No, we didn't give a for me, I don't know. On one hand, I really like the beer. It's tasty. Does have a nice good smell. Oh, hey, Evie. I like the can artwork, so that's one thing. I don't know. I guess I give props to beers when they have cool artwork. I think it's a pretty cool artwork, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. It's marketing.
Did that save the beer for you?
No, the honey did. I feel like if there wasn't any honey in this, because I could kind of taste it, then I
Right.
definitely wouldn't like it as much. The IBUs are definitely high. They're definitely there. Very bitter. Does leave a pretty strong aftertaste in my mouth. Kind of
Yeah.
feels like you guys like when you eat honey and like it kind of like coats your tongue a little bit and it gives you that weird layer. I have that right now and I don't like it. But it's still there and it comes with the beer and it kind of tastes funny. So I'm gonna give this a 7 because the taste is okay, but the aftertaste is like I don't like it.
All right.
So I don't know. I can't really explain what I'm feeling. I'm kind of in the same boat with Scott where I feel like it's missing something a little bit. So I think 7's kind of fair. Like I would drink it again, but maybe if it was fresher, maybe that's the difference.
It could be.
I don't know.
I mean, we could do. This is another one of those, but we could do like a controlled experiment on if we had like.
We just keep drinking Hopslam. We're like, oh, this was good, man. Oh, dude.
Stockholm syndrome.
It's just so.
We like it. Okay, stop, please. How do you feel about it? That's good. That's good.
I think I'll probably have to give like a 8.5 to this one. As I've like had more IPAs over the years, I've started to like enjoy them more, and it could just be me conditioning my taste buds. I don't know, but I definitely prefer like the double IPAs and the imperial IPAs. Like the higher alcohol definitely helps cut into that bitterness a little bit, and doesn't really like feel like you're chewing grass.
No, I feel like I was chewing grass. That's what it is. Okay, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
But for this one, I didn't get as much honey. Like
I didn't. Really
I mean, maybe it's just me. The honey wasn't as
It was there, but
was
it
very
was
subtle.
It was subtle. And
Yeah.
I think that's what saved it. It was a nice little hint of it, and I was like, okay, this is good.
I mean,
But then-
it like subtle enough that they may not even just mention it.
yeah. Same.
If it didn't say that there was honey on there, I wouldn't have been looking for it.
Exactly. Same.
So that's one thing. Definitely the freshness is maybe something that could be explored because because with these IPAs when they
For
get
this style.
for this type of style when they start throwing more and more hops in there, you gotta have it fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, those flavors start dropping off, and like the image I guess that they're going for just isn't there.
Starts degrading.
Yeah, like Grizzly Green Beer that we brew, you gotta drink it fresh.
Oh yeah.
And with the hops, like what happens is like they brew the beer, and then when it's fermenting, like in the last few days, they just throw just mountains of hops into the beer as it's fermenting, and that's called dry hopping. And what that does is imparts a lot of aroma and a lot of the flavor of the hops into the beer, and that's what they're doing on these big double IPAs. And that flavor is only there for a little bit. It's only there for like a week, maybe a couple weeks, and it starts to drop off pretty quickly. And so that's why this only has a shelf life of 3 months, because after 3 months, it's not an IPA anymore. It's a shitty barley wine. Because that's that.
Hey, where did we get this beer from?
We got it from the Bearded Monk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Who are they?
we like them.
I thought we were gonna end the cast with that. I thought we were gonna roll like segue into ending the cast, but you just didn't do it.
I mean,
so never mind.
we can.
Nah, it's fine. It's too late now.
So Texan Purgatory.
Yeah, Texas Purgatory. Let's go back to that. No, I'm just kidding.
God.
Yeah, so Bearded Monk. That's where we got the beer.
Oh, yeah.
we like them. They
was a good
do
segue.
cool stuff. I know right now they're kind of talking a little bit more about their super secret group, the Monastery.
They are.
Secret.
Yeah, so that's their beer club. I'm a member of the Monastery.
How do you join that?
Well, I think.
Wait, should we say that on the cast, or should we just like keep that secret?
I mean,
Inquire.
we can kind of talk about it a little bit because, they've already been kind of making it more public. They've had some, open house events with it, where they come and, talk about it a little bit, which, unfortunately, I miss those, but I wish I was there. But it's like a beer club. You get access to like rare beers. Like they give you kind of early notifications about it, and you get to reserve it, and you just go there and you pick up your rare beer. It's pretty cool. And then this year they're doing a lot of events. They're gonna have like a lot of brewery visits and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure they're about to start opening this up to like open enrollment, I guess you could say, where normal people are normies. People can just go in there, sign up to be part of the monastery and get all these really cool benefits. So, just kind of be on the lookout for that.
If you like your craft and if you like your rare.
Yeah. And, let me tell you, some of these rare things that they get that are only available to the monastery, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. Had one from Dogfish Head Brewery. It was I think it was raspberry beer. That thing was 18%.
Jesus.
Damn, dude. Is that even is that even a beer anymore?
That was beer. It's still beer.
Oh shit.
It was crazy.
Oh Jesus.
Anyway,
All right,
keep your ear open. The bearded monk will have more information about that. How to get into the monastery. Just keep an eye out. You can go find them on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, Overcast.
The day whenever he remembers all of them is going to be a celebratory day.
That's when we all die and go to Arlen.
Don't forget we're on Instagram as well.
Instagram.
Yeah, we're all also on Instagram.
I'm trying to break into the Twitter sphere a little bit.
We've started a Twitter.
Yeah. Well, that was for. Did we start a Twitter for Beers at the Round Table?
We're gonna start a Twitter.
Okay, we're gonna start a Twitter for Beers.
We're gonna tweet at you.
Flipbit, our parent company, has a Twitter.
Yes, come check us out at flipbitstudios.io. We will provide.
If they go to Flipbit Studios, you're gonna get something else.
You're gonna get something else. Flipbit.io. We can make you a website if you'd like. We can do great podcast, and we also do great websites.
We can do you a software real good.
Oh yeah.
Hey, if you want that app to scan asteroids, don't ask for that because we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We'll send you to fucking Arlen.
thanks for joining us, and be sure to join us next time, and be sure to crack a cold one with your boys.
Put your foot in.
Don't get into Arlen Purgatory.
Boom, Howard, yell at you.